Oh, we're live, boys and Barbara. Welcome, America, to the best hour of your day, assuming your day is very, very mediocre. It's the Eric and Rodney Show with Robin, the show where we pursue fame on LinkedIn until we're too famous for this shit. Today, we have a very special guest. Rodney, would you like to do the introduction?
I would. Barb's on. Hey, Barb.
Hey, Rod.
We have Barbara Paley on. She is my partner in DS, and she is a saint for dealing with me 7 days a week. Would you say that's true, Barb?
That's true. That is true. But we have a lot of fun.
We do have a lot of fun.
We talk about everything. Everything is good.
That's true.
Fitting for this show. So before we get into the Barbara portion of the show, we like to cover the news because we're qualified and America demands our opinions on such things. So, Robin, what's in the news?
The first news story is quite a silly one. So we do have, a man by the name of Randy Williams, who also happens to be a late night DJ, purchased a lot of empty land in California, and he built a new country out of it. It's called Slowjamistan, which he has proclaimed himself as the Sultan, and it's a dictatorship that now has its own laws. One of them, which wearing Crocs is illegal. It has its own government, flag, and currency, and national anthem.
Is it a slow jam?
There he is. There's the Sultan of Slowjamistan.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is real?
This is real. This is a publicity stunt by a half funny DJ, which I shouldn't say because we're trying to get him on the phone, on the show. But it's just like it's everything a middle-aged white guy would do to try to get on CNN. Like you said, Crocs are illegal. He's outlawed mumble rap, which is another thing that middle-aged white men hate.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, you don't like it either?
Well, apparently also
young Filipinos also hate it. And the other thing he's outlawed is people who put their feet on the dashboard.
Is that a real thing?
I don't know. This is the thing. I think this came out of Slow News Dayistan. Like, why is CNN covering this? Is there nothing else?
Okay, I was going to ask, was this on Fox?
No. Somehow this is from a half reputable news organization.
Got it.
I don't know.
How big is this area?
It's 11 acres.
11 acres.
Yeah.
And
I hope they find oil underneath it so we can go to war with this idiot.
America will need. You know what? They'll liberate him.
We should get in there and liberate him. Oh God. The other thing that bothers me is he's in the desert. He always has to wear that stupid outfit. You know, he's hot. It just bothers me.
Yeah, that is a weird outfit.
Well, he's probably not even there. That's a fake background.
You think so? Well, there's more. Yeah.
And why does he have that weird picture of? Is that?
And that's probably not even. That's probably not even him.
Is that Ted Cruz in the background?
Ted Cruz is
that Ted Cruz?
This is so stupid. These are just stories that we should cover if we have everything else figured out in the world.
Yeah, really.
You know, Robin, you're sensitive to dictators, though. Are you afraid of the rise of the dictator here because of this? This is another sovereign nation taken over by a dictator.
I actually think the idea is pretty fucking great. Like, I love it.
It's because you're partial to these kinds of governments. Total control. You're one of them.
Would divorce be illegal, Robin?
I mean, it's going to be like 11 acres of just some land in the California desert. How political can it get? I feel like
this is America.
You never know.
Barb, Barb might not know this. Barb, did you know that divorces are illegal in the Philippines?
They're illegal?
Yeah, tell her, Robin. We always have to show it with everyone because it blew our minds.
So Philippines still remains the only country where divorce is illegal. And it seems like it's not going to change ever.
But we don't know the divorce laws in Slowjamistan, so it's possible.
That's right.
But in the Philippines, are the majority of people Catholic?
Oh yeah, very Catholic.
That's why. And I bet you, and I don't know the specifics about Mexico, but like 90% of all Mexicans are Catholic. So that's a similar thing.
Yeah, it's true.
I looked into it. I think the last two countries, it was Brazil and somewhere else, finally came around to divorce, but the Philippines are holding out.
Well, you know, I mean, this is totally off the whatever. There's a state. It's either Delaware. It's like where Rodney's from. It's not from North Carolina, but Delaware or one of those that they still have on the books that you can do something really nasty to a woman if they're caught cheating on their husband.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's probably North Carolina.
No, yeah, it's still on the books. Yeah, it's one of those old laws that they've never straightened out. Yeah,
marriage is such a dumb institution because all right, so 50% end in divorce, right? And of the remaining 50, how many people are there? They're miserable, but they can't afford to get divorced. You know what I mean? There's like 3 people on the planet that are happily married. Why is this?
Yeah, many years ago when I was in college, you had to take sociology, and you are correct. It was like 50% of divorces, marriages ended in divorce. Out of that, the ones that remarry, 75% end up in divorce.
See, the recidivism rate for divorce is 75%. So divorce shouldn't be illegal. Marriage should be illegal, and then you can solve all these problems.
Yeah, there you go. Hey,
Yeah, she is like a Google
person to talk to about that. So
yeah, because Barb always says, "Listen, Barb always says this. Did you look on Google?"
yeah. Google says Google is my guy.
She is like a Google,
like a living Google. All right, I think that's enough. The Slow Jamistan, which by the way is a terrible name. Slow Jams suck. I hate this guy. We should get him on the show though.
It should have been Fast Jamistan.
Yeah, right.
Well, aside from the fact 11 acres really isn't that much.
That's what I was thinking, right? I know people I grew up with had like 50 acres. They certainly didn't have a country.
Okay, so the reason he did
so Google this, Rodney. How many acres is Mar-a-Lago?
Oh,
that's a good one.
Not its own country though. The reason he started this, the reason he started this is because part of his gimmick as a DJ is he was going to visit every single of the 194 countries I think there are. So he ran out of countries to visit. So then he made his own country, and then CNN picked up the story.
Slow day over CNN.
Slow news day, Stan. All right, what's next?
All right, we're moving to Asia for the next one. Eric, do you think you could pull up the picture of this one?
Do I? What am I? What is it, amateur hour? Come on.
The story is based out of this one. So I don't know if any of you guys have. Eric has been to South Korea, but it's nowhere near to like the inhumane activity in other parts of Asia. So the next news story is a flashback to Hong Kong's walled city, Kowloon. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, Kowloon was a city in the 80s that was the most densely populated place on Earth. It was named the walled city not because it had walls, but because the buildings were so packed together that you could no longer see the sky from the ground. Eventually, the city was evacuated and demolished because the layout of the city was so awful, it created inhumane living conditions and lawlessness.
All right, so this picture is horrifying, like just as it is, but you can't really tell what's going on until you go to the street level. They're playing on top of this.
Oh my god!
Oh,
now this is New York City. This is Chinatown.
Rodney, that's Albany, New York.
That's my first apartment in the city. Jeez.
Everything after what happened to Eric Clapton's kid freaks me out to no end. And like the fact that you just send your children on the rooftops, like there's no guardrails. They're playing around electrical wires and antennas. And
why does Robin have his head in his hands back there in the yellow shirt? What's going on, Robin?
This is Robin.
Is that Robin?
It's obviously Robin.
That was Robin last weekend. We're playing hide and go seek.
This is a world we live in. Although, okay, here's the other part. This doesn't exist anymore. They tore all this shit down, and now it's a park. But like, where did all these people go? You know,
right? Where'd all the signs go? Yikes! We found the Coca-Cola. Haven't found the McDonald's.
I don't know, man. So I'm listening to Audible, just did a 10-part series on the Michael Jackson thing, and they wanted the episode.
Wait, which thing?
you know it. All his hit albums, obviously. But they talked about his house in Gary, Indiana. I guess it's like 600 square feet. And they had 9 kids and 2 adults living in that. But this seems somehow worse than that. I don't know if you're living here, why you're having all these goddamn children, and then you're like, just go on the roof and play. I'm sick of you. You know, weird.
That's a good point.
Doesn't seem like a place where you would want to have 9 children or these 3 kids. Robin, tell us what it was like living there.
Well, I mean, the problem's still not solved, and it's kind of like this because Hong Kong by far still has like the worst housing crisis. So they have this weird regulation where the Hong Kong government owns all of the land, and when they do decide to like convert lands to residential areas, they go on bids, and oftentimes like the most wealthy Chinese investors bid on it, and then it becomes like a very it becomes a profit. So like they squeeze hundreds of thousands of people into like these tiny spaces, and they're essentially living in like I don't know, 10 square meters. Less.
So what you're saying is that money has once again won.
Right.
Listen, I don't think a lot of poor people watch this show. Nobody watches the show. But like, if you're poor, why are you having all these damn kids? I have 2, and I hate feeding them. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't have a backyard, if you have to send your children to the top of a high-rise to play, why are you having all these fucking kids? You know? Just be poor and feed yourself. Maybe, you know, a little less.
It does look like there's some sort of zip lining.
I feel bad for that. But yeah.
But can you imagine like the inconvenience? You're just down here shopping and fucking kids are falling from the roofs. Like that has to be annoying, right? You know it's happening.
Oh yeah.
You got to shovel another 3-year-old off the sidewalk. Like, oh god, everything about this place sucks.
Yeah, no. So like the lawlessness was so bad that the walled city was forming its own internal governments, and the government was like the gangs, the local gangs. Pretty much.
You reminded me. Oh, I'm so glad you said that because there was one. This is the funniest line in the article. It goes, existing in ambiguity for nearly a century, it had a reputation for illicit dealings and was infamous for triads, drug dens, brothels, and unlicensed dentistry.
Unlicensed dentistry.
That's the real.
All the things to put.
All the things. Not the kids on the roof, not the drug dens, not its own internal government. The unlicensed dentistry is the thing that broke.
Well, you know, that's what the triads are famous for.
Unlicensed
dentistry. That's why they're looking for them. Is that they'll pull your tooth and you won't even know what happened.
Right. Oh Christ. This is man, the world's a wild place. All right. I guess we should go to the next story, but can we just acknowledge what Melissa said here?
It's hard, yeah.
Hey, Melissa.
There's a law in North Carolina that says if more than 4 women live in a house, it's considered.
Oh my God!
Oh, wow!
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's why they have some of the finest brothels in the country.
What if you have 5? What if you have six daughters or something?
Then it's just a whorehouse. I don't know.
Yeah, and you can really go to town.
Technology is different. All right, what's the next story?
America really has these bizarre laws like that?
Yeah.
No idea.
We have to pay taxes. It's even weirder.
Yeah.
Sodomy is illegal in like half the states. Is that? No. Is Robin frozen?
Robin's frozen in time.
Oh no.
He's so taken aback.
Now who's going to introduce the next story?
By that story.
Robin.
Oh no.
Robin is the chief.
Robin.
All right, let's talk amongst ourselves for a second. So Robin sucks, huh? I'm sick of his shit.
Robin's internet is not working right.
Oh, we hear it all the time. Oh, the
Barb, is Robin on a cruise?
Yeah, it says Robin on a cruise. Yeah. Is Robin in Iceland? Yeah.
All right. Well, he's frozen. I'll introduce the next story, which I think is very bizarre. So Walgreens settled a litigation with New Mexico for $500 million for opioid misdealings. I don't really. It's bizarre. Okay. So Walmart has paid out so far, since up to 2022, $3.1 billion in opioid suits. This is on top, so another $500 million. But my thing is like, this is terrible journalism. I read multiple articles on this. I don't understand. Don't you need a prescription for opioids? And then does not Walmart just fulfill the prescription?
That's right.
So Isn't it the drug manufacturers that should be on the hook for all these deaths?
Well, I think they got sued as well. Remember, because Courtney Love had an issue with the Sackler family, and then the Sackler family got sued.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's kind of bizarre that
it's the middleman, though, right?
so
Like
weird.
someone's writing them the prescriptions. Like I don't listen. Fuck Walmart. I don't have a horse in this race. But like, why do they owe $4 billion? And furthermore, how come I can't find that information out? I read like 10 articles and nobody said this is exactly what they're doing. They said like mishandlings of the opioids. But like, can I just go to Walmart?
Maybe they were using them.
Well, it could be the old story, and Rodney and I know that this happens. You know how, like, when somebody sues, like maybe they sued the doctor sued the pharmacy, the pharmacy sued the manufacturer. So somehow the story, you're correct.
Yeah.
They're probably the middleman, and it's binga, 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 and they all got sued.
Yep. And Walmart in that picture, I mean, it is a drug company, but I imagine Walmart has more money than probably the drug company, right? I mean,
oh yeah. So this is what the thing you go. All right. So 3.1 billion up to 2022, another 500 million. But then I looked it up. Walmart's worth $412 billion. So 4 billion, not really a big deal.
They're like, you know what? Round it off.
Well, and really the drug companies, there's more to this probably. A lot of those drug companies aren't even located within the United States. So that would really confuse it. So when they're trying to sue, they're reveling.
I will say that if the dictator was going to make him disappear, it would be mid-show, right? Just to send a message.
It would, just to let us know, right?
I'm sorry, the drug companies what?
But the drug companies, if they're located, like a lot of them are located either in Canada or England. Netherlands is a big one for drug companies.
That's true.
To sue them, that's international courts, so it's much easier. Whatever these lawyers that they're going to do the ones in the States.
It's wild. Like drug dealing is very lucrative, you know.
Yep.
Making them is even better.
How do we get involved in this? I just don't want to be sued for $4 billion.
You know what's funny? I say this to Barb all the time. I don't know if I ever told you this story or not, but this idea I have is that I've never really understood what it is pharmacists do, right? Like I went in one time to get my cholesterol medication, and the lady was like, "Oh, we're out of it." I said, "That's fine. How long? What do you think? 30 minutes to make it?" She goes, "What do you mean make it?" I said, "Well, the pharmacist is back there. He'll just go gather some stuff from the woods, and
it doesn't.
20 minutes, I'll be back. He's made it." She's like, "Oh, it doesn't work like that." Well, what's he doing? They didn't go to school 12 years to count pills.
Did not they though?
Did not. And then she said to me, she goes, "Well, he advises you on your drugs." I said, "The computer does that. Get out of here."
Aren't there instructions?
You know, when you leave CVS,
yeah, nowadays it's all, and it tells you the interactions and all of that. Yeah,
they're not going to put that in the hands of some pharmacist.
No, but there are still some pharmacies out there that do what's called compounding, and they actually mix it all and put it all together. Very few, but there are some.
That is true.
But you're right. And half the time when you get a medicine, all they do is take the regular bottle it came in and slap another label on it.
That's exactly right. My cholesterol medication the other day, they had 30 pills left in it, and they slapped the thing on it and said, "Get out of here. Don't come back."
They didn't even
right?
Yeah, they don't even count them. Yeah. No, I agree.
They don't care. And they're like, and you know, it's funny. They'll always be like, "Okay, today you owe $0. I've never paid anything for any of these drugs. Just give them to me."
Right.
You know, but they're always like, "Okay, today you owe us $0. Been going that way for 10 years, guys. Just hand them over." You know, or if you owe CVS will call you 100 times. Text messages, emailing.
Plus the receipts are way too long.
Yeah, during COVID, CVS would like mail you your prescriptions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, even though it's 2 miles from here, you know, what the hell? Knock yourself out, mail them. Okay, so they're mail. The end of COVID, you know, they sent the thing, join Care Plus. It's $100 a year, whatever. So they would still mail your prescriptions. You get a $10 coupon every month, and then the CVS brand crap you got money off on. So, you know, I signed up for it, and at first it worked. Then all of a sudden I get these things saying your prescriptions are ineligible to be mailed. And because of the insurance company. Now that doesn't make any freaking sense, because when I go, it doesn't cost anything anyways.
Yeah, that's exactly my thing. They were like, we can't mail these. They're like, we can't mail these. There's. I'm like, are people trafficking in cholesterol medication? Is that
right?
Is that what people getting high off of it?
Yep.
I don't understand.
Whoa.
That's true. So Jenny is saying that she wants to invest in our drug company, Eric. That's what she's telling me.
It sounds like what kind
We
of
haven't
drug?
identified what drugs we're going to make yet. We're just brainstorming at this point.
Can I make a suggestion? It sounds like there's a lot of money in opioids if we want to give that a shot.
Yeah, it sounds like that's where it's at.
Yeah, so the whole article is just, they say Walmart was guilty of misdealings and wrongdoings. This is very vague.
Any unlawful dentistry?
You know that little booth they set up around the corner there? That's for
That's
the
where you get your root canal?
Yeah.
Well, like, okay.
That's funny. That's funny.
So your prescription says you get 10, whatever the fucks. Is Walmart giving you 11? You know, I just don't, what could possibly be the thing?
Yeah, I don't.
Cost them $4 billion. We got to get an expert on it.
You know, the other thing too, that you mentioned it, is I remember seeing this thing one time, and it was in Florida, believe it or not. And this guy he worked at like a clinic, not like a clinic, but like a pain management clinic or something. I don't know what that is.
There were a lot of those down here.
Well, Barb, they sued this guy.
Yep.
He was a doctor, right?
Yep.
He looked like a normal guy. I mean, he didn't look like he was a mastermind criminal. They sued him for like $40 million, right? Which is obviously a significant amount of money. They were like dipping the pot. He's made like half billion. Guy disappeared. Like he settled, and I'm like, what in the world? You know what I mean? The other thing I don't understand too is that are the people that died from the opioids, is their family, are they the ones getting the money, or is it the government?
No, it's the state. So
the state,
New Mexico has been the most litigious of all the states. They sued CVS and somebody else for like $765 million. So New Mexico's gotten over $1 billion so far. Wow. The idea being that they're going to use the money for people that are addicted. While I was doing the research, I found out Massachusetts, my home state, got $61 million last year from somebody. Same deal. So
hopefully in New York, they get a couple dollars so we can pave the roads.
Yeah, no shit. But here's the other thing. So now we have to look back at New Mexico in 2 years and see whether or not they have less opioid deaths. Because if they don't, then all the money going to the state was fucking worthless. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Yeah, but like, maybe it was outside of protocol, but $4 billion at some point, don't you go, holy shit, we're doing something wrong here. I hope we don't get sued for.
I mean, weren't we looking for Pablo Escobar, and he made like a couple of $100 million, right? These guys are billions.
Right. Billions.
Yeah, but usually if it's a controlled substance, they have to show ID and everything to pick them up. I mean, at least down in Florida they do.
Well, remember that time I was sick and I went to get Sudafed, and I literally thought we were going to have to call the FBI?
No, I know.
I had to show my driver's license. I said, guys, this is Sudafed.
Cough medicine you have to get.
Eric, this is the best. And the guy goes, yeah, but you could be making,
meth.
What is it? Meth. I looked at him. I said, do you think I know how to make meth? If I knew how to make meth, you'd be out of business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the thing why I don't understand, those moonshiner shows where people out in the woods making moonshine. You can buy alcohol, assholes. It's like, why would I make meth? I can get cocaine on the streets. You know what I mean? Like, why am I making, what is with this homemade drug shit?
Well, when I was in college, my senior year, I worked at a Rite Aid, in Rhode Island. And, and he'll laugh. But, I was the store manager, like after about 4 weeks, right? Go to school, full-time store manager, big job, right? Mm-hmm. So if I put Tylenol extra strength capsules on the street, it is downtown Providence, okay? If I put it on the shelves, they would come in and they would whip them and steal them all. And I'm like, why the hell would you steal, those? Yeah. Well, they would take the capsules, and then they mixed it, I think it was with Coca-Cola.
Oh.
And they would make drugs with it. The other thing they would steal was like Aquavelva.
Well,
because that has a lot of alcohol in it, and they would drink it. But they did, I know, sick, huh? It'll leave your breath smell good, I guess. But yeah, they would steal it, and it was something you mixed it with. And we're talking.
We're mixing now, Eric's.
Yeah, exactly. Well, listen,
it was probably the precursor to crack or something. I have no idea. Yeah. But yeah.
I mean, I love drinking. My drug addiction is slowly killing me. But I under no circumstance.
Rodney, that's a conversation you and I have.
I
haven't seen Dope Sick, although I do love.
I did with Michael Keaton. Batman was in it.
Oh, really?
It's really good. Yeah, it's on Hulu. It's good. It's really good. Yeah, that's a great movie. Actually, Jen, that's a really good movie. I think he won an award for it or something.
Oh, Batman won an award?
Yeah.
Homemade, yes, I know, but it's the difference.
But you still have to buy the stuff.
Exactly. It's like going fishing. You can buy fish. Just buy the fish. Just buy the drugs. They're what I mean.
Have you guys ever seen Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
So years ago, right, I was watching that show and I read an article, and then it was in like Vox or one of those magazines, and it basically was like what it would cost to do what they had done.
Yeah.
And it was like to get started before they got into the medical grade stuff, it was like $4 million. And I'm like, where did neither one of those halfwits had $4 million? I mean, one was a teacher and the other one was like a deadbeat kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. The barrier to entry to make meth is out of control.
Yeah,
I just watched a documentary. I think it's on HBO, and it is some town in Appalachia or some shit. But evidently, we're not making meth anymore. We're getting it from Mexico, which seems like the better thing. Because meth labs always blowing up, Sudafed, it's a whole pain in the ass. Now they're just driving up from Mexico. And so good news, meth heads, no longer have to make your homemade drugs.
That is good. That is good news. Good news.
Yeah.
I am the one that knocks. That's right. She goes, are you scared someone's going to come get us? He goes, I do the getting. All right. She goes, what are you going to do when someone knocks on the door? He goes, I do the knocking. That show's great.
Yeah.
If you've never seen it, it's really good.
Are we concerned at all about Robin? Do we think he's dead?
Well, you know what? When I really get concerned is when Barb and I get a letter or some sort of thing asking for Bitcoin. Then we'll look into it. They'll be like, send us 0.25% of a Bitcoin, which is like $200 million or something, right?
We'll just find a new Robin. I don't think our level of commitment here is
we have a plethora of them lined up.
It's gonna be the Eric and Rodney show with Barb.
This is the new format, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, poor Robin.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go to the next story, which is explicit music at work, a legal risk. So this whole thing was, this first sentence is playing music with raunchy, derogatory, obscene lyrics at work and create a hostile at work environment. It might even violate laws against sexual discrimination, a federal appeals court ruled Wednesday. I feel like this is sort of a disingenuous headline because if you read the article, it's one place where they blasted Eminem and Too Short from commercial strength speakers every day for 2 years. And then finally 8 employees had enough. They complained every day. Nobody ever did anything.
They were wait, you said Too Short?
Too Short.
Are you familiar with Too Short's catalog?
I am.
It is explicit.
It's
like that, like if you said to me, name a rapper that has more explicit lyrics, he would be at the top. Then I would say maybe NWA, and then perhaps I can't think of anyone else. I mean, he is like, yeah.
Too Short's not only Too Short explicit, but he's also annoying. Like there's something about his music that fucking sucks. And
but, people shouldn't have to sit at work and listen to that crap.
I agree. Anything. They could be blasting Frank Sinatra every day for 2 years and I'd lose my goddamn mind.
Right.
It's inconsiderate. If only they
were
like,
I think that when I go to Publix, as they're playing that music, those people have to be freaking sick of listening to that.
No shit, especially at Christmas time, since they started doing Christmas music mid-November and they have to hear jingle bells every day.
I used to work at Lowe's, the home improvement place. And I used to be a cashier, and they used to have these Santa Claus, they would move their arms and sing and this and that. And I'm telling you, when they rolled that stuff out in August, when they rolled that stuff out though, right? I remember one day I came in and I just had enough, and Santa was looking at me singing. Yeah. And they came out, they go, what happened to all the animation? And I was like, oh, it must have come unplugged. Tell you that stuff would never work again. Yeah. They said, someone has gotten a hold of Santa's batteries. I said, I don't know if Santa's going to need to seriously be reconstructed from scratch.
It's shit. It's annoying.
So the music I can only imagine. You know those things when you walk by and it goes, hee. I would lose my mind with that stuff.
Yeah. You know the bell ringers at Christmas? That's annoying. Every time you go in, you go ding, 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 ding. Oh my God, stop. Noise is annoying. I'm glad they sued. It's
the worst thing in the world, right?
When I graduated from college, I was an assistant buyer for Macy's. And the department I finally got put in was junior, women's junior sportswear. And the Go-Go's. That's all they freaking used to play.
The Go-Go's?
Go-Go's. Remember them? And they were dated then. But some of the music, it was like you would purposely turn it off. I don't know why it's not working. The music has to play. The music has, yeah.
Robin's back. Were you okay?
There he is. Robin, how was the kid?
I did not send you money.
We got a ransom note, but I don't know. Are you in Russia? Blink twice if you're safe. Yuri's looking for $100 million for his safe return. I said $100 million. I said Barb said $50 is the max.
And we're taking it out of your Christmas bonus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Evidently it worked though. You're back. What happened, buddy?
Internet in third world countries isn't so great. Sometimes it's.
We thought you were on a cruise.
Were there children playing on your roof? Did they disconnect something? You gotta go fucking launch them off.
That's nothing to do with it.
We're talking about Eminem and Too Short being blasted over commercial grade speakers. Remember that story?
Excellent.
You know what? If they had a PEO, none of that would have happened.
You're right, because then they would have a handbook.
That's
and if
right.
they had the handbook, then it wouldn't have happened.
It would
Do
have
you
said
guys
no
know
too
any-
short.
Do you know any
Or
PEO
Eminem.
specialists? You two?
Yeah.
I know a couple of experts.
It's a controversial take too. I think Eminem kind of sucks. I know that he's I know his lyrics are funny and he's technically good, but like his beefs are the worst. Like Biggie had Tupac, Nas had Jay-Z, Eminem has the Spice Girls and Limp Bizkit. Like he goes after the worst.
Well, he has a new one now. He has a new one. You may have been.
Who?
You may have been misapprehending Machine Gun Kelly. And I gotta be honest with you, I didn't even know Machine Gun Kelly rap. I thought he was just that girl's.
I
Megan,
just thought he banged
whatever.
Megan Fox, but
I thought that was just her boyfriend. I didn't even know he did anything.
Right. Like he has the weakest feuds in the history of everything. He's playing toddlers at dodgeball. Like, what are you doing?
Remember when? But I would say this, right? You may have forgotten about this one. The hottest one he had that I thought was like really going to take it to the streets was with Christina Aguilera. That one, I was like, this one really. I mean, it might be East versus West in this one. Yeah, you're right. He argues with the dumbest people.
The thing that broke me is that chick Iggy Azalea. And listen, I don't give a shit about her, but she came out because he had some derogatory lyrics towards her in a song. And she goes, dude, you're 40-something-year-old white guy talking shit. I'm 18. What are you doing? And I was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. Why is he going after Iggy Azalea, you sissy?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of his feuds.
His feuds are the worst thing that's ever
They're
happened.
like a family feud. Stupid.
We can find enough people to argue with.
Yeah.
Barbara, listen to any rap?
Barb, who's your favorite rapper?
None.
Do you have one? None? Zero.
Zero.
Yeah. No, you don't like everyone loves Snoop. You don't like Snoop? No.
Yeah.
No, she don't like Snoop Dogg.
Even what's her face? Who's the chick that went to jail?
The chick that went to jail.
I mean, Cardi B. Was it Cardi B?
No, the old white lady is Snoop's
Oh.
best friend.
Oh, Martha Stewart. Yeah.
Martha Stewart loves Snoop.
Hey, speaking of her, did you see the big thing about her now? She did a swimsuit spread. Did you see that,
Really?
Rodney? Oh yeah, you'll have to Google it. Yeah.
Is she on Sports Illustrated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
150 years old.
actually, she was on Hoda and Jenna, on with Today's
Good
Show or
morning.
whatever.
Oh yeah.
And
They're my favorite rappers.
they've got a whole thing of her in bathing suits and
I've always wanted to see my grandmother in a one piece. So
no, she doesn't. I mean, she's probably had more work done on her than she doesn't.
As my mom would say, she might have had more work done than Dolly Parton. I met Dolly Parton when I was a kid, and she looks the exact same now than she did when I met her, and I was like 10. And I look like I'm 100 years old.
Her face looks fake at this point. I met Martha Stewart in person one of the Super Bowls that was in Tampa.
Yeah.
She did a book signing in Macy's. And
I thought you were going to say I met Martha Stewart in prison. I was going to be like, Barbara.
Yeah, I met Martha Stewart in prison. That's why I can't get licensed.
They were cellmates.
What were you in for? Holy shit.
Yeah, really. Well, in this industry, a lot of things. No. Anyway.
Misdealings of opioids, perhaps?
Yeah, misdealings of opioids.
And illegal dentistry.
Yeah, that's even worse. Oh my God, I can't believe that.
I know. The illegal dentistry. Oh, fuck. All right. I think we have one more. Robin, you want to jump back into the last story?
Is Robin here? Hey, Robin. There you are, bud.
I'm streaming from my phone because my laptop decided it's a great time to do its updates. But what's the last story about? I can talk about it. I just need to know what the topic is.
That's a good question.
You have to guess.
Oh, AI chat bots in the classroom.
Okay. Yeah, great story. So California has now been one of the recent states, actually the first state in the US that is now adopting having AI chatbots inside the classroom. Now this may seem as a good thing because it allows the students to study at their own pace and to dive deeper into their own interests when they see fit. However, it does pose some risks, such as AI not being accurate with learning. It could foster cheating, and the most important one is it diminishes the role of the teacher in a classic student learning environment.
What, did you memorize this story?
No,
It just came back on and you read it.
Jeepers creepers.
That was really good.
He's memorizing the stories now.
No, that was real good.
That was good.
Here's the thing I don't understand. No study has come out saying that more screen time is good for anybody. But somehow every day we get stories about more screen time being forced on students. The stupid Apple thing that you strap to your head. More like, why? No one wants more screen time. Why are we pushing screen time? It's such a weird thing that we're doing here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is weird. You know what else is weird too is that I don't know about the rest of the world, but I always see the kids here. They always seem to have, or they always use at school now, Chromebooks. And Barb and I are big fans of Chromebooks, but I would just say this: if I had a Chromebook and ChatGPT when I was in school, they would have been like, Albert, who? Yeah. It's RS. Because I'm telling you right now, with those two tools alone, they would have been like, he knows more than the teachers. Yeah. I would have never failed a test.
Right.
And the thing I find interesting about it is you're right. They're always saying no more screen time. But like if you're on a, I mean, like obviously I'm being hypocritical, but we're on screens all day, right? And that's what we do.
That's the other thing. You can't escape it. So.
Right. So it's like if you're a kid and you're using a Chromebook, right? Like when I was a kid 100 years ago and we were in school, we were using computers, right? That, didn't do anything, like they were like a novelty. And now it's like, if you're on the computer all day and then they get home, they're on watching TV and everything, like it's forced, 8 hours of screen time, however how long they're in school for.
And then you're going to have more incels because they don't know how to talk to people. So they're going to be angry white guys not getting laid in their basement. Eventually, they're going to stumble onto some sort of right-wing Reddit page and go shoot up a school. Here's the other thing. When I was a kid, we try to tell the teacher, like, why can't we use our calculators? They're like, well, I'm going to have a calculator. Shit, motherfucker. I carry a calculator every day. I still don't know how to do math.
I got one in my pocket.
Exactly. All the time.
Yeah.
But I just, maybe I'm being Ludditish, but I just don't think, I think we should have a teacher, even though teachers are dumb too. Like, have you ever met a teacher? Like when you're a kid, you think teachers are smart. Then you grow up and you have friends that are teachers. You're like, holy shit, these people are morons. Not all of them, obviously. There's morons in every thing. But who's going to program these chatbots that are teaching the kids? It could be an issue.
Right. Have you ever tried to get something solved with a company that they're using AI to try to help you? Yeah, there's an organization in Rodney that I'm the president of right now, and they had to switch over the POS system, the ownership over from this guy that's dead to me. Okay, so every time we put in the request, it's AI that does it. Finally, and they couldn't understand it. Finally, I'm like, sometimes AI doesn't work. Well, and that's what I typed. Well, I got that through. And then now it's like, okay, they get it switched over. We're trying to be able to log in. And the AI doesn't understand that we can't log in. Mm-hmm. And it's like, AI is great when it works. Yeah. But it's as smart as the people that program it.
Right. And everyone's
Rodney? Just like us with our RFPs. It's as smart as what we put in the system. But it's frustrating. You think voicemail used to be frustrating? I think AI is the 2023 version of voicemail.
I agree with you on that. You know what you're so annoying about voicemail? Remember you guys you have like 50 messages, right?
Yeah.
And it would be like received. And it's like, just give us who's talking, what's going on? You know what I mean? Yeah, I agree with you. AI is
better yet, for so-and-so push 8. Then you get to 8. And if you need Bing or Bing, hit 3. And then at the end, we'll say, well, no valid person or something. After you go, ding, 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 ding.
That's terrible.
Well, that's kind of the limitations with AI, is because AI is developed by these very technical people, and these technical people are the worst people to figure out how normal people actually communicate and like how it's going.
So Robin, what you're saying is all these incels are programming these robots that can't get laid because they don't know how to talk to people.
Right.
And I agree with you.
Back to the incels, yeah.
Yeah, we need cool people programming this shit. The problem is cool people are too dumb to. So we need to, there's going to find a middle ground somewhere.
Yeah, I will say programming is not easy. And it to me, right, and I don't know if this is just because of me, I like, it's not, people are like, oh, it makes sense. It doesn't make sense. Math makes sense to me. This doesn't, it's like, well, you didn't do this function or that. I'm like, are you guys making this stuff up as you go? I don't understand. So yeah, it is pretty difficult.
I just think too, so if kids, and here's it's going to go to the logical extreme. So if robots can teach children and chatbots can teach them, the role of the teacher becomes we don't need them. The state pays for it. The government's cheap. We're going to get rid of teachers. So if you're just going to stare at your computer all day, you don't have to go to school. So the fringe is going to be just kids staring at the computers all day at home, not getting socialized. They're going to be feral incels. It's going to be a real problem.
Really becoming a word, huh?
Yeah. Well, they're already doing away with things that make us human, like the arts are going away. You can't play music in schools anymore. There's no money for anything that's not academic. If robots can teach us math, then we're screwed. We're done.
Wait, what? Art and music is going away in America?
Well, it depends on where you are. There are schools that still have the arts and the musics.
Right. But if there's budgetary issues, the first
it
thing
is budgetary.
that'll
It's
be
like
gone.
extracurricular sports. There's school districts in certain areas that if you want your kid to be like play soccer or any of that kind of stuff, they have to pay a fee, which that's ridiculous. That's not the way it was when I was a kid.
And you always see these Facebook things
true.
where they show school lunches from countries around the world, and then the American school lunch where under Reagan, Robin, I don't know if you know this, but they said ketchup is a vegetable. So like we're supposed to give our kids a couple vegetables and some shit at lunch, and somehow the guy, you know why? Because kids don't vote. So like, yeah, just feed them whatever the fuck they want. So yes, the point is we always cut corners, even when it comes to our children's education, specifically when it comes to the kids' education. So robots are going to teach because they're cheap, they're free. They're going to be eating ketchup. They're never going to get laid. It's a real issue.
I mean, I can say this about when I went to school. Like, the lunch we had was terrible. It was like pizza every day, or like just warmed up stuff. And like, I used to just eat out of the vending machines, or,
There's
fend for yourself.
There's an episode of one of Anthony Bourdain's shows where he goes to a French school and he sits down. They have Michelin-starred chefs making duck l'orange, and they have dessert like flambe for dessert and shit. And like, they're not impressed by this. They don't give a shit. Meanwhile, we're eating square frozen pizza that's not cooked all the way through.
It's called fiestada.
Terrible.
Terrible. That's what they used to call it. Like, oh, it's fiestada, and I'm like, for the 385th day, or some warmed over stuff. Yikes! Yeah, school lunch is terrible.
Yeah, we're torturing these children, and now the robots are going to teach them.
American.
You don't have to feed a robot.
You don't have
True.
to feed a robot.
And there's no vacation time. I'll tell you something. But my stepfather came to eat lunch with me one day, right? And he was a character, and he came and they hassled him at the school. They're like, "Why you brought food?" He's like, "We're not eating that stuff."
Right.
I mean, he brought McDonald's because that was, but still, I still feel like the McDonald's was better than whatever they wanted us to eat that day.
Yeah. The other thing is that robot teachers don't form unions, so right out the door. It's bad, Robin. Do you have room for one more person in your high-rise apartment building in the Philippines?
I don't know who it is.
There goes his bandwidth. Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to be completely out.
You have to update your internet plan.
There's like 1 megabyte on his plan.
I know. He was saying it was because the internet wasn't stable. It's because he's got 97 people living there.
Well, it's about to be.
It was the final Instagram login threw him out.
Yeah.
Like we're all living in 10 square meter cages here. It's not that bad.
No, it's fine.
No, it's good.
The pitter pat of the children's feet as they play on the roof of a high-rise building.
Well, I used to live in the city. My first apartment, you believe it or not, I lived below the entire cast of Riverdance, and they like to practice somewhere between 2 and sometimes between 2 and 6 every morning.
Fucking Irish people are the goddamn worst, I tell you. All right. Well, I think we covered all the news. Do we want to go to the barber portion of these of the show?
Yes, we can. It's into the barb hour.
The barb hour.
Well, now it's the barb 15 minutes.
That's
okay.
We do what we can.
That's not enough. We're gonna have a whole episode devoted to you. But
there we go.
Do we want to talk PEO, Rodney? What do you want to discuss?
Well, I was just gonna ask Barb. So, Barb, do you want to give us a little background on how you got here to us today?
Because you made me.
She was forced.
It's hard to get guests on a Monday. Nobody wants to do it. But thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'm the backup when there's nobody else around. Yeah.
We couldn't get Dave Chappelle, so I said, Barb, listen, Dave's out. We need you.
Yeah. Oh well, I guess you can come on then. Yeah. No, I don't know how I got here. What do you mean? How did I get to be with you?
Yeah, we came to be here.
The whole
It's about an hour of
how Rodney and I got together.
We want the barbography.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to know
You
about
know
you,
what? The
Barb.
whole
Tell
thing.
us.
We're going to need a whole show for that. But
That's true.
we'll just back up to how Rodney and I met. Rodney and I met when after I didn't own my PEO anymore. I was working to build another PEO.
Mhm.
And Rodney happened to know that PEO. And we met in New York City at what?
The Hudson Hotel.
The Hudson Hotel. A group of us met, and he became my largest PEO broker.
Oh.
And then when I left that and went to another PEO, I kept wanting him to be mine instead of the person he was using or he had for his rep. So we developed a relationship, and I worked for a large PEO at that point. And Rodney and I, the longer that we worked together and got to know each other, we kept saying, you know what, we should work together in the company.
Gotcha.
And about 6.5 years ago, took the plunge, and I joined DS. And it's been perfect ever since. Right, Rod?
I agree. No, it has. We've been.
Yeah.
I would say Barb has been my saving grace. We have done a lot.
Yeah.
in 6.5 years.
What he doesn't know, I know, and vice versa. When we do presentations together, we can be thorough, we can be funny, we can be informative. People love listening to us, don't they?
They do.
I mean, they do. It's
The Barb and Rod show.
Even,
That's what we call it.
Even the PEO reps, when we get them on the phone, sometimes it's the Rod and Barb show. And it's not only because we have a lot of knowledge on PEO, but just in general, we're half nuts. We know a lot about all the different industries, and it's just fun. It's just fun,
Plus, every other PEO company sucks, right? You guys are the best.
Well,
of course, we're experts.
Yeah.
Well, we're different because, you kind of put it that way.
That's true.
We know the industry. See, I ran a PEO. I owned a PEO. So I know the back end of what the issues, what the problems are, and what the pitfalls are in certain PEOs. So when we're doing our analysis and our comparisons, I can say, this one, this is their strength, binga, 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 and then I can kind of diplomatically say, well, this one, they may be good at payroll, but they don't have the infrastructure that might be as robust as you might need. And then on the same token, when it comes to benefits, Rodney knows more than I do about benefits still. I'm close, but no, he knows more.
No, she's good. Barb knows. The good thing about Barb is that Barb sees it from all angles. So she sees it from being a business owner. She sees it from obviously knowing the industry, and then she sees it from obviously doing this every day, right? So it's not like, because a lot of times especially with PEO, you'll get like brokers, and there's nothing against brokers because I'm a broker, but they don't necessarily know PEO, right? Like I don't pretend to know, Medicare or things like that. And
no,
I think a lot of times
we stay away from it. We don't want.
Yeah.
That is one thing, and every once in a while we'll have this conversation. And he'll say, "Well, what if we add this, or what if we do this?" No.
Yeah.
What we do well.
Mm-hmm.
And if you start spreading yourself too thin and try to be, the right answer for everybody, you're not going to do what you do best. Concentrate on what you do best. And that was what the premise on PEO. I've been around so long, it was employee leasing. Okay. And it used to be, they used to say, tell people to fire their employees. The employee leasing company is going to hire the employees and lease them back to you. I mean, what a stupid thing to say, but that's what they said in the early 90s. Okay. Then the other adage was, let us do what we do best, manage your employees and let you concentrate on your business. And that's kind of where that still is the adage, I guess.
I agree. Yeah, it is.
Is
Pretty
that
soon, though, it might be fire all your employees and hire the robots.
Yeah. Hey,
Well,
Rodney.
maybe.
So wait a second. Our next thing is we're going to buy some robots.
That's smart.
That's right.
I think that could be good.
You hear that, Robin?
Yeah.
There's a number. We're going to be a robot.
We're gonna buy some robots, and then our adage will be to replace the ones that are idiots.
Yeah. Robots never get kicked off the internet, right, Robin?
That's right. They are the internet.
They are the internet. Is that that's an Eeyore over your left shoulder?
Yes, it is. I
yeah.
have all over in here. I have all sorts of stuffed animals from Disney.
Barb, tell us about Bart, tell us about Diesel. Go ahead. Eric.
Oh, Diesel.
I was just going to say Eeyore is a weird cartoon character because he's the only one I know that has depression.
Yeah, he's always sad, and I'm never sad.
Get him on pills or something?
Bart's never sad.
I'm never sad.
Oh,
Yeah. I got Eeyore. Somebody bought me Eeyore. And I have that mouse from Ratatouille, and I have Lady and the Tramp.
Barb hates Disney.
Yeah, that's my sister. Yeah.
You should have been on last week when we talked about all the controversies surrounding the new black Ariel.
Oh yeah.
Are you familiar with this?
Really?
The Little Mermaid. Yeah, they remade it.
We were fine with the black president, kind of half of us, but no one's happy that Ariel's black.
Wow.
You didn't know this?
Wait a second. No, I didn't know this.
Mm-hmm.
Is she half black or whole black?
Oof, that's a good question. Well, this is how racist we are as a country. Obama's half black, but he's black. You know what I mean? Like, no one ever says half black. I don't know. You know
what I used to say after everything bad that happened, and I don't say it anymore. I used to say, "Thanks, Obama."
Yeah.
I used to love saying that. It could be anything. I stubbed my toe. Thanks, Obama. Great.
At it again. Those goddamn liberals.
My husband, God be good to him. You know, he was extremely conservative. I mean, really conservative. And
that's code word for, you know.
Yeah. And when Obama won, and I'm from upstate New York, and that's like pretty democratic. That's not even, yeah. He was like, now it's going to be Uncle Tom's Cabin or something like that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
He would not like the new Little Mermaid movie then.
No. That's no. Anyways, yeah.
One of our most popular segments on the show is so we try to humanize corporate America by asking non-business questions. Are you into music at all?
Little bit, but I'm more. Well, Rodney will tell you, I'm real involved in my choir. So if you want me to sing in Latin or do any hymns from any of the hymnals, by all means.
You know what I would ask?
What a strange coincidence! I was going to ask if you could sing in Latin and hold.
Oh yeah, sure.
Wow.
Eric is a Latin. Eric only speaks Latin.
That's true. Can you do some Eminem in Latin? Is that?
You know what I would ask Barb about though, because I'll tell you.
When Jesus wore sneakers? Go ahead.
Barb, listen. I basically do three things, right? I aggravate my wife, I terrorize Barb and the staff, and I play pickleball. Yeah. But one thing I will say, right, is that if you ask Barb what does she do, she's in the choir, she rings the bells, and she runs the Barb. Tell them what you do with the elves.
I'm not. I'm in the bell choir. And I sing in the choir, and I'm on the vestry. I'm the senior warden for the church. Just got that by default.
Which means headaches in city.
It is. Oh man. But I'm also the exalted ruler for an Elks Club.
Exalted ruler.
Yep, that means that, and my phone keeps ringing. And I have 1,000 people that belong to this place, and it's Elks Clubs. Yes, they do charity work, but they are a lodge and a bar and whatever.
Yeah.
So
the Bud Light's cheap. Are you still serving Bud Light after the whole thing?
Yeah, they are, because I don't think they understand what that whole thing was. Yeah.
Well, you as the exalted ruler, I think, needs to put your foot down. No more Anheuser-Busch products.
No, yeah. Well, there goes the entire
You know, it's funny you say that. Somebody sent me a while back. They're like, you got to get rid of Anheuser-Busch, and I said, "You're going to shut the bar down?"
Yeah, I hadn't heard that, and then I was somewhere, and one of the women said, "Well, I won't drink any Anheuser-Busch," and I'm like, "Oh, really?" But
then you're like, okay,
that's fine, because I drink wine, and Anheuser-Busch does not make wine at this point.
And you know what else Barb is an expert at? I just want to highlight this is cruises.
Oh yeah, I cruise
everything that Barb. Well, I just went on a cruise recently, and everything that Barb told me to do, we did flawlessly.
Yeah. I've been on 39 cruises, and
this year.
No, not this year. And the best part, about cruising now is the internet's better than Robin's. Like I can basically, the only time I have trouble with the internet is like when I went to Iceland.
Yeah.
I had some trouble with it, but usually I can do presentations, I can do calls, I can do everything from it. Yeah.
Have you been on a Disney cruise?
Are you serious? No.
Yeah, I think if they personalize hell, it would be.
I don't like kids.
Well, this is the thing. Barb lives in Florida, so she's in the mix of it all.
Oh,
yeah, I'm in Clearwater, so like for us, we can go over to Disney you know, you go on when you know it's not going to be busy.
Did you say you don't like kids?
Yeah, I was being facetious. Yeah.
Kids suck. No, I was with you.
Kids do suck. Yeah, no, I have a 30-some-year-old daughter that moved back in here.
You gotta get her out of there.
I've done it 3 or 4 times. I changed the locks. She comes back. You know?
Have you tried tasing her? Every time I'm upset, that's what I do to my children because it leaves no marks. No one can believe that their father tases them. Now they're just, you little liar, get out of here.
Yeah, really. I try not to feed.
Barb has 100-pound. I should say 100-pound guard dog.
I don't know where he is.
She has a white German Shepherd. He's beautiful. He's completely white.
Yeah, there's his picture.
Isn't he beautiful?
You have an 8x10 glossy of your dog.
I bring pictures of Diesel when I go cruising.
He's beautiful.
A lot of times I'm by myself or I'm with my sister and my brother-in-law. So we have a table for 4, right? So I'll put Diesel on the seat next to me.
Is he named after Vin Diesel? Are you a big fan of the Fast and Furious?
He was, I got him when he was 2 years old. Yeah, he's a reject. Yeah.
I didn't even add white shepherds. That's interesting.
Yeah.
He's beautiful.
Yeah,
I had never seen a white German Shepherd. She told me that, and then she showed me one time, and I was like, "Wow!" Because he looks just like a German Shepherd, except he's completely white.
Yeah.
He looks kind of like a husky, which is what I have, but his eyes aren't. He does,
but his ears are bigger.
Yeah, his ears are bigger.
He must be locked in a room somewhere because I don't know where he is.
Last time he was reading.
Yeah, he's well, he likes to hang out because my house is on a corner lot, and he likes to hang out in one of the beds, and he watches everybody come and go.
And he goes crazy.
And he knows the sounds of trucks.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to watch out. He knows what the UPS guy sounds like and what the Amazon guy sounds like. So
does he like Siamese cats? Huh?
Is that Bernie Sandpaws?
No, this is
who is that?
Odin. Bernie Sandpaws is in the other room. Look, Siamese. Huh?
Yeah, there you go.
Look at that shit.
Is that Barack Karama?
It is now. That's genius.
I have a friend of mine. It's funny. Last night we were watching the documentary, my wife and I.
Which one?
It was called In Pursuit of. What's it called? In Pursuit or something like. Anyway, it's on HBO, and it was like 4 hours. And this guy just kept. Anyway, she watched the whole thing. I watched like the first 30 minutes, fell asleep. I woke back up towards the end, and I was like, "Is there going to be a resolution?" There was no resolution. On Burden of Proof, that's what it's called. Burden of Proof.
Oh yes, I've seen that. Yep.
Yeah.
HBO documentaries are way too long.
Some of them are. Yep.
They need to cut them down by half.
Well, it's like terrible. That guy. You watched the whole thing, Rodney Keith.
Barb, wait. Before we go, you got to tell this story. Eric, listen to this story. Barb, tell them the story real quick.
Okay, I'm looking at the time. We're going to run out of time.
2 minutes. You got this.
This is incredible.
Yeah, I lived in Clifton Park, New York. Okay, for a while. And it was a townhouse, and there was a courtyard thing. The people across the little alleyway, whatever, they had a 5-year-old boy. So my daughter at the time was 5'6". She started playing with Michael. They back and forth. So wouldn't you know, the woman's name was Tony Natale. She and I sort of got to be, friendly with each other. And they owned, LifeWorks or whatever. Well, the guy was that Keith guy.
Keith Raniere.
So anyways, at first he owned a thing, she's laughing, buyers something, and they hired all these people. And what the people would do is they would buy this stuff from Costco or from BJ's, relabel it and sell it as all these nutritional products. Okay. And they used to say to me, I didn't think too much about it, but they used to say to me when they were broke, they used to go out to the casinos, to get more money. So anyways, they opened up health food restaurants and whatever. And she used to say, oh, Keith, he is very sensual. He is very sensual. She never said like really too much about that. But supposedly she was from like the mafia in New Jersey originally. Like Tony Natale was beautiful. She really was. So they ended up buying a house. That's the house, the house where it all happened.
Sure.
They ended up splitting up. And he's the one that did all those things with those women. Wow. And he's in jail now for, who we're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
he's in jail for like 99 years or something.
Yeah, it was Nexium cult. And then Edward
Nexium.
Bronfman's daughter was
But-
involved.
But
Somebody
when
got
I
hurt.
knew him, he was LifeWorks and Buyers, whatever.
Wasn't he very smart though, you said?
Oh, not only that, he went to RPI and he basically, and that was how Tony used to say is, oh, he's a genius. That's why he's like that. But if you were ever with them, because a couple of times, we were over there and did drinks, but he would sit there and stare at you with these glassy eyes. Like he was weird. But
He could count cards too, right?
Yes. That was why they used to go to the
They would go to the casino and make money because he could count cards.
But
Did you ever visit him in prison? Is that how you met Martha Stewart? Must have.
That's how I met Martha Stewart.
That's how it comes full circle.
Yeah, incredible. But the last I read about it, one of the times I was visiting upstate New York, he was doing a petition because the guy, I told you this, Rodney, the guy who was his cellmate was a, what do you call it when they're trying to switch over?
Is an informant.
No, sexually.
Transgender.
Trans.
He was he was in the transition. He was a hemio, whatever. Yeah. So anyways, I've met some strange people.
We buried the lead.
We'll get to that on the next episode. Barbara Monday on the Eric and Rodney Show.
Mondays with Barbara.
With or without Robin.
One never knows these days. All right, we gotta go. Goodbye, America.
Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.